there in Grip World. This is Napalm, Jedd Johnson, and I'm joined by Alan Heineck and James Retarides. Once again, this is episode 81. Thanks for tuning in, and please, if you enjoy this episode of This Week in Grip, then make sure to give us a big thumbs up. We're going to be covering our individual goals for the year and some possible predictions and expectations. But before we get to that, I just want to say thank you to Luke Raymond, because last night I went out to dinner and had steaks, and I ended up paying for the whole thing on money that I got from turning in all his Bang cans that he's left at my gym over the course of the last 6 weeks. So that worked out really, really nice. Have you guys tried this Bang stuff, guys? I
can't stand it.
You can't stand it? Okay.
No,
Good.
I'm a Rockstar fan, actually.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. What about you, James?
I tried Bang. That was weird.
I don't know what it is, and like any kind of energy drink in excess like bothers my diverticulitis, so I tend to avoid them. I'll have one occasionally, but I'm guessing Bang is an energy drink. Is that what's happening?
Well, it's like, I guess it's an energy drink, but it's got like a bunch of cool stuff in it. Like, he loves them. Luke swears by them. Every single day I see him, he has a Bang. I think he drinks one whether he trains or not. So
it tastes like original flavored Listerine.
Well, there's a lot of flavors, and from what I heard, you can only get these things at like a supplement store. But out to Gripmas, I went across the road to the convenience store, and they had them in the cooler. So I picked one up. I didn't know what I was doing. I usually like grape stuff. Like if I get a Gatorade or a Powerade, it's going to be a grape variety. So I grabbed a grape Bang, and I couldn't even finish it. It was like black licorice or some garbage. I couldn't even.
It's heinous. Yeah, it's awful. Yeah, try Rockstar.
Yeah, I can't eat the black licorice either. I can't do that. It's like I had a bad Jägermeister experience years ago, and ever since then, I'm just kind of like, yeah, you know what?
Nobody has a good experience with that.
No.
That's
about as far as I go with licorice. So.
Dude, Jägermeister is what I was drinking when I set my hand on fire at the wrestling pay-per-view parties in college. We were passing that shit
That makes
around.
sense. Yeah.
My gosh. And then it's all right until the guy that is supposed to put the towel over your hand to put the fire out is also doing shots of Jägermeister, and then they take forever to put it on there, and half your fingers burn off. So
his reaction time was a little slow.
Yeah, dude. It really. There's a few probably OSHA guidelines that we skipped over and did not follow during that process. I mean, it wasn't great. But dinner last night was, so thanks, Luke. If everybody didn't listen to episode 80 yet, you need to go out and do that. That was our Feats of the Year episode, and we got a lot of good comments, guys. We had probably more comments on this than any show in probably since like Brian Shaw videos coverage that we did. Awesome show, gentlemen. The discussion was phenomenal, and James is a great guest. Keep those grip puns coming. That's from Logan Smith. You totally screwed up last week, and I was right in your face, Alan. Gigantor Blob definitely took place in 2017, according to Border 1964. So, way to drop the ball Alan.
I was incorrect. Yep.
That's
right.
I
don't know that it was that you were incorrect, because he did it in 2017, which I didn't see, but he also did it in 2018.
Yeah, and the 18 lift was freshest on my mind, and that was the only one that I found, actually. Yeah. Well, so it was weird.
I didn't see the 2017 one until after it was suggested. That's when I went back and found it. So, yeah. So I can see where you can make that mistake.
I just got kicked off again, guys. Sorry about that.
No, that's happening to all of us.
Too,
I got booted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh. Well, Sean Capusta is going to kick all our asses because he is fed up with the audio quality of the show and all that stuff, and this is just going to be more fodder for him. So, Sean, please take it easy on us this week in the comments section, brother.
Well, geez, Sean, I'm sorry it's not Motown Records. We're not in the studio with egg crates on the wall. Sorry, Sean.
Dude, that is hilarious. Egg crates, dude, that is hilarious. That's amazing. I'm not going to read all the comments from last week's show, but there's plenty of them, so please, everyone, feel free to go down and read those, and I'm sure you'll, if you see anything you want to engage with someone on, then please feel free to go ahead and do that. A couple other things. Some people are really enjoying the video I put up about whether or not Joe Kinney was a fraud or legit, so make sure you check that out. That's surely to be in the top 20 videos for this coming year. It's already got over 1,000 views, which was pretty amazing because that's more than most of the videos in the top 20 countdown for all of 2018, and it's only been up for like a week. So I knew it was going to be a hot topic, and
that was a good one.
Yeah, it came out pretty well. So you can check out the comments there. There's even more comments on that one than on last week's This Week in Grip video. Check out dieselcrew.com. I've got like a top 20 video countdown going on there. You can see that. I was going to do like 5 videos a day. It turns out I've been so freaking busy the last week I haven't been able to keep up with that, but I'll get them up. And then let's see. That's about it as far as like stuff from last week and stuff that's going on, guys. Anything to add, gentlemen, before we get into this year's personal grip goals?
Well, one thing I would say is Jesse Pionian pinched 2 25-kilogram plates the other day, which I thought was pretty phenomenal. He also posted a really cool transfer with 2 20-kilogram plates. So I don't know if you saw that, guys.
Oh, nice.
I didn't see the transfer, but he sent me the video to put it up on the grip board for voting, and I got to still do that. So
very dominant, a lot of control over those plates.
Nice, awesome. It looked like he was doing it like outside. Is that correct?
I don't know. There's like a boat in the background,
Mm-hmm.
Which it's interesting because Bob says we should get our plates from overseas sometimes because he says sometimes when he looks at the 20-kilogram and 25-kilogram plates that some of the guys use over there, he says they look like they were gathered from an underwater sea salvage place, like they got barnacles growing on them or something.
Well, they had the easy plates over there, remember?
Grippier. And what's funny is there was a boat in the background of Jesse's video, so I don't know if he just, dragged them up from, the bottom of the English Channel or something.
That's pretty funny, dude.
So
Jesse is a strong dude. I'm looking forward to meeting him in March at the Arnold Classic. That's going to be really, really cool. Maybe I can set some booby traps for him, like I did on Chad Woodall when Chad was at my house back in 2008. Try to get him injured before the comp. That might be a good way to go.
Well, that's terrifying.
That's what I need to do. Yeah. So, how do we want to start this?
Get caught in the net.
Yeah, dude. Or get one of those Acme black holes, make him fall into one of those. He just disappears.
Set up an anvil over the door, like Wile E. Coyote.
Yep. I like it. The other thing I did, I was listening to the show last week because it was so fun that I wanted to listen to it again, and I actually started compiling a list of what everyone's input was for the top feats. So I hope to have that completed sometime this week, and I'll be able to post that either on dieselcrew.com or on the grip board or something like that,
Very cool.
just so everybody could see it at a glance. But I forgot to mention that earlier. So how do you guys want to go about covering your goals this year? We didn't really talk about a format for the show. We can kind of just fly by the seat of our pants here. What do you think?
That works. What we usually do.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, whatever you guys want to do. I didn't know if we were just setting up grip goals or just overall goals. So I kind of just compiled a list, under different categories. But however you guys want to manage it is cool.
No, I like that. I kind of just have, for me, mostly I have grip goals in here as well as some other body goals, body strength goals, I guess. So James, do you want to lead us off with maybe like some of your grip goals?
Sure. I mean, look, number one, and in no uncertain terms, I'm going after the inch this year.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I mean, I don't know even how close I am. You know, I mean, I've gotten my wrist wrench numbers with a straight arm up, you know, to the 98-pound range. I've been able to deload the inch with, you know, about 13 pounds on the opposite side of the bell. I know my hand size doesn't bode well for that. Thick bar has always been the most frustrating thing for me to train, but my goal is certainly to get the inch this year. That is the primary goal in terms of grip strength this year.
That's cool. That's a good goal, man. Now, I forget, James, do you have an inch, or who has one? I know Bob has one, right?
Bob has one, and Jason just bought one off of Andrew Pankey. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, that was when we were driving home, skidding down 77 in the blizzard. That was in the back. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I had a feeling that was going to, you know, we were going to roll over and that might, you know, take a few of us out, if not all of us, but it didn't happen, thankfully. But yeah, so he's got an inch now, and Bob has an inch. He's got a Sornex one.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Jason, myself, and Gary Stewart are all going after the inch this year. So hopefully we can make that happen.
Cool, man.
I got
That's
a
good.
quick spoiler alert. I actually had you, James, picked for lifting the inch for my predictions.
Oh, wow, great. Thank you for the vote of
that's
confidence.
on the list. I knew you were working on it. So, well,
thanks very much, Alan.
Bleed over.
Well, I think you got to be pretty close if you're nearing 100 pounds on the wrist wrench.
Well, I was, and then I had shoulder surgery, and now I'm back in like the low to mid 90s again. I've noticed I haven't been able to pull anything over that. So, so I don't know how much that, you know, I've noticed with everything else, as my shoulder is healing, my strength is coming back. So my hope is, I'm aiming for, you know, spring, summer by the time that I do it. But you know, I'm putting in as much work as I possibly can on it, and I really want to get there this year.
So that's your primary goal for 2019 is inch dumbbell deadlift.
Grip goal, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what about body? Maybe we'll just do right now we'll just do the primary goal for everybody. That kind of sounds like a good idea to me at this point. What about the rest of your like body strength goals? What's your primary? What's your biggest objective?
Well, my right bicep, I want to do 150-pound preacher girl with a dumbbell, just a regular dumbbell handle with good form. My back, I want to row a 200-pound dumbbell 10 times without straps. For my chest, I want to get my bench back up to 350 and to get my incline and decline both over 300. I've never had all three lifts over 300, so that's a goal of mine. My shoulders, loosely, I'd like to bottoms up press my 92-pound kettlebell again, and I'd like to be able to clean and press my circus dumbbell with the 2-inch handle. And then my leg-related goals, I'd like to get my squat back up around 400 pounds. So now that my knee and my hip are kind of responding well. So those are my body-related goals. I have more grip goals, but those are, the big ones. Those are the long-term goals.
Cool. And the one-arm preacher curl with 150 seems just out of this world. I don't know anybody that I can't think of anyone else that specializes in that. But that's a huge goal. That'd be good to see once you get it.
I'd appreciate that. I would really love to get there, Jed. I'll tell you that much. I was very close, and it was interesting because I was very close, and right about when my programming was right about where I should be able to do 150. That's when I got contacted by Juji Mufu and Tom and started shooting arm wrestling videos. So, I'm not using that as an excuse by any means, but it was right before my surgery, and, because I'm still going to get there. One way or another, I'm still going to get there. So,
right.
It's just I would have liked to have been there in October when I thought I was primed for it. So, but I didn't want to pass up the opportunity to do the series with Jujimufu.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. All right, cool. Well, we'll come back to you for more of the grip goals, all right, James?
Yes, sir.
All right. Alan, what about you, dude? What are you looking at? What's on your horizon for this year? What are you thinking?
My number one goal, so everything's going to be kind of right-handed for me. In the past, it was always left. So next-gen blob. I've never lifted a blob of any variety with my right hand. So I want to lift a half 100. That's my huge goal. Only ever hopped one.
I don't think I noticed that you hadn't done them right-handed. So most of your big block weight lifts have been left-handed, you say?
Yep, that one's stronger by a long shot. Yes, my right just kind of sits there and doesn't do anything. It's only good with grippers and hub, really. Other than that, it just never cooperates.
What do you credit that to, Alan? The difference in strength pinch-wise. Because I'll go back and forth. For instance, on pinch, like a lot of times my left hand is stronger on pinch, but not always. Sometimes there are some things like right now. Like just yesterday, dude, I was able to break 225s off the ground several times left-handed. Couldn't even come close right. But with Blob Father, I can break that thing off the ground 3 or 4 times a workout right-handed and have not done much more than high enough to slide a piece of paper underneath left. So what do you think is causing that disparity between your two hands?
Well, I actually think my left hand is just a smidge larger, but I'm also able to kind of almost open it up and like spread the fingers more with that than I can my right for some reason. I'm right-handed, but my left kind of, it's hard to explain it, but it just seems a little more able to grab onto those things just because I'm able to, almost like that 180 position. I can more or less do that with my left hand and not necessarily with my right. So that's the only thing I could give it to. My left arm's always been like, stronger in general for things, even though it's actually a little bit smaller. Yeah. But yeah, that's the only thing I could credit it to. When I started grip, I actually didn't do anything with my left at first because I just assumed it would be weaker. I thought, hey, I'm right-handed, it's got to be stronger. So that's what I started doing, and then I wound up getting early on, my kind of some golfer's elbow flared up really bad, so I kind of had to stay away from that for a while. I started doing things with my left, and that's when I found out, holy crap, it's like I'm able to lift things with my left hand that are like, I can't even break off the ground with my right. So that's when I kind of started paying more attention over there. Yeah. But it kind of made me mad, to tell you the truth, because I'd like to lift more with my right hand. But I don't know if that explains it, but that's my best guess anyway. Right.
What about you, James? Do you have that big difference between hands on pinching or anything?
Well, this is what I was going to say. It's interesting that I have arthritis in my right thumb, so I can pinch pretty well with my right thumb, but I can't train it as much. So my big pinch feats have all happened with my left hand. But similar to Alan, instead of grip, when I started arm wrestling, I did everything right-handed, because my right was just so much more coordinated, and I was right-handed, and so it took me like a couple of years before I realized I was starting to look like a fiddler crab, and I should start training my left arm. You know what I mean? So, but in terms of pinching and blob, it's weird. Like I've never lifted a 50-pound blob with my left hand, but I've lifted it with my right. My left is a little bit longer. My right is shorter, but certainly stronger, and I can only lift things like blobs or like 6'10", 6'11s with a pipe in them with my right index finger off, because I get a lot more spread, and I can actually reach around it a little bit better. Yeah. But I try to whole hand it with my hand size. It just doesn't happen. So
right. I'm
not saying it won't happen, but it just feels impossible. It feels impossible.
Yeah, for me, the more digits I get on something, the less likely I am to lift it. Most things for me is a thumb, middle, and ring finger lift.
Oh wow!
The other ones, yeah, I get the other ones involved. It's like my hand doesn't even want to span the blob anymore,
Yeah.
And I know what, like, with my index kind of going around the radius of the blob, I do know that actually still does have some involvement, but I can't get it put in the same, with my other fingers. It's just not going to happen. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
Then I'm more prone to skin tears that way as well. Putting all fingers on one side. I leave it off the other way. It's like I get my thumb a little deeper and I kind of save some of that.
Yeah, I never thought of that, but that actually kind of makes sense because I don't think that I've ever, torn mine grabbing a blob or a set of 10s or 11-pound plates that way. I don't think I've ever torn it. It's always been a thinner pinch with all digits involved.
Yep.
Wow, that's cool stuff. Cool stuff. I know for me, like you talked about, like getting to that 180 position with your one hand down and you can't do it on the other. I have the same thing. So my left hand like gets out into like probably 170 degrees. My right is probably about 155, 160. And I think it's because I injured it my senior year in baseball hitting off a pitching machine. I got like a deep muscle bruise into my thumb from the ball like coming in on the handle. And I hit like 3 balls that way. And it like bothered me my whole senior year. And I almost feel like if I didn't like destroy some muscle tissue in there, like I might have damaged a nerve or something like that. Like it was bad. I couldn't even hit without foam in my batting glove because if it got in on the handle or anything, it would hurt me even worse for like a week. So it's almost like it gummed it up inside of there, and I'd have to get in there like aggressively with some kind of tools to break it up. But I think after so many years, I really doubt that there's any chance of it being corrected.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thumbs take so long to heal. You have to be so patient with them, and that my impatience with my thumb in 2005 was the reason why I can't pronate as well on an arm wrestling table now than I was able to before. So yeah, thumb injuries they just stay with you. They certainly do.
Well, they hit like lightning. Yeah. One wrong move and you jack them up. Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
That is for me anyway.
Well, what about body goals, Alan? I mean, obviously rehabbing your injured side is going to be key, but do you have any other goals that you're pointing at?
So I actually want to get back to kickboxing. I was hoping to pull that off this past October. That's when I was intending to go back before I wound up screwing up my other shoulder. So I'm hoping October is again my plan. That puts me out far enough that I'm thinking if they're provided therapy and all my rehab goes the way it's supposed to, it'd be kind of about the 10-month point out of it all. So I'll ease in slow, obviously, so I don't jack anything up. But I'd like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, and, that's an awesome goal.
Yeah. Otherwise, I got to kind of take everything else as it can come.
Yeah, I know you were doing that in what, 2016, 2017.
Yeah. Yep. Right up until my my right shoulder went to hell on me. I had to shut things down in March because I didn't want to go into surgery in April with my shoulder all ripped to hell.
Sure.
So didn't want to. Wanted something decent to work with anyway. So, yeah.
Well, cool.
Looking forward to it,
man.
Thanks.
Get back, stay healthy, and get back into that because I know you enjoyed that before.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Cool.
How about you?
Well, I got a couple here. I think this is the year I need to close a number 4 gripper from like parallel. I think that's what I need to focus on. Keep my hands healthy and go for it. My silver bullet work is going really well right now, but the actual closing of grippers isn't. So I think maybe just the overall volume in my program right now isn't really optimal for grippers because when I train grippers hard, it really interferes in my recovery, and I have to make some changes. I think if I'm gonna reach that point, because I'm definitely down from my highest point that I ever was. But I think with the right balance in the training, I think I can do it. So I've been talking about that one for several years. So I think this needs to be the year that I actually focus on it.
Nice.
No, that's an awesome goal. That's a bear of a goal.
Yeah, I have a couple 190. Well, I can't remember. I think I have one 199 gripper. I used to have two, but I think one of them was Paul Knight's. So it's a lighter end gripper, and I've gotten it down to, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch on a few occasions with Mash Monster sets. So, you know, I've been fairly close in the past. You know, that sounds like you're right there to a lot of people, but really 1/4 of an inch is like a mile in grippers. So, and it just feels like somebody shoved like a, I don't know, like a pencil eraser in between the handles sometimes when you get down that deep. So, but I think this year I've actually got the motivation to do it and the clarity to go ahead and run for it.
I have you picked for an MM5.
I'm sorry?
I had you pick for an MM5 close this year, Jedd.
Well, I'll tell you.
On my prediction list.
Yeah, well, thanks. If I, you know, with the programming that I have planned, that I'm not executing right now, but I think if I transition over to that number 4 goal, then I think it would be just another step along the way to hit that MM5. So, yeah, I think that would fit right in.
They mesh together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, they fit right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Guy hates to train grippers, but he's closing a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Ladies and gentlemen, a masochist, Jedd Johnson.
Yeah. It's true, man. I just think that sometimes you gotta. It's not facing your fears, but you gotta sometimes you gotta do what you don't want to do in order to get better. So, and I'm thinking like it'll make my hands tougher too for like axle. You know, it'll develop strength that would probably carry over to that, because I feel that with axle, it's such a finger strength type of movement that I'm hoping maybe that would carry over. Back when I was first trying to lift the inch dumbbell, I used to do a lot of isometric holds with like a super elite or a grand elite back in the day. And I felt that was something that was real useful, because I didn't have any. This was before I got any loadable thick bar handles. So I was working in that, you know, that about halfway range with super elites and grand elites. And I think it kind of built some strength in that range. So, you know, it could be complementary to axle work as well.
I would think so. Go ahead, James.
No, you go ahead, Alan.
Well, you know, to me, I think grippers, you know, that's one of the only dynamic things we have in grip, you know, for our fingers. So to not use that, I think you're leaving something on the table, really. You know, otherwise everything else is just it's isometric, really, for the most part.
Yeah. Right.
So actually moving your fingers, I think that's a real beneficial thing. Whether there's exact carryover per se, but it's got to be something, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just right now the way that we have our training laid out, I can't. So I'm best when I'm training grippers 2 days a week. And I can't really do it right now. I just can't do it. My hands, my fingers get so sensitive. I get fingernail sensitivity. My cuticles get very inflamed. I need to go to the hand salon to get all my cuticles pushed back.
Yeah, manicure.
Yeah, manicuring.
Yeah, forget hand spreading. You got to do the manicure weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no massages or anything like that.
Right. The nice thing is that there's a parlor right across the street from the gym, so I can go over there and get that work done. So, and then for the body, I probably the one. This is kind of like a number 4 gripper close would be like a dumbbell curl with hundreds in each hand.
Wow.
You know, I've done 90s that weigh like 91, so I'm not too far off. But it's just a matter of sticking with it and not just doing it for 2 weeks and then forgetting about it. You know, I think it's a consistency thing, and by the end of the year I'd be able to do it.
Standing curls?
Yeah, standing alternated dumbbell curls with my form. Now I get jabbed all the time by the YouTube maestros that my form is
about leaning.
bad.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
About leaning.
Not so much the leaning, but like I can't supinate. So when I start, it's basically a hammer curl. But what they don't understand is I am trying to supinate, so it looks like a hammer curl. But if I want to do a hammer curl, I'll just do a hammer curl. Like as soon as I can, I'm turning it. It's just that I just can't supinate with that kind of weight. So you know, I get
the people that say that
risk
stuff.
development
all the time.
Yeah, you know that's a risk development thing too. You know, it's like me when I walk, I have like. You know, I look like a knuckle dragger. I have like this pronator drift with my right hand. You know, I went to a doctor one time and thought I might have had something called Guillain-Barré syndrome because he was saying pronator drift was a symptom of it. And I'm like, no. I was like, I've trained my wrist and I've trained pronation so much that it just falls like that, and it makes certain things really complicated for me. You know what I mean? I don't have Guillain-Barré syndrome or any other neurological problem that I know of, But in terms of doing those curls, now, Jedd, I want to ask you something. Just because I have also, not with both arms, but I have with my right arm gotten over 90 pounds in a standing curl with pretty strict form, I start getting deltoid pain. And I don't know if that's something that is normal or if it's just that my deltoids aren't strong enough. But that's what starts happening with me when I start doing any kind of heavy curl without my elbows isolated.
I can't say I've ever experienced that, and I'm not sure what it would be. Are you sure that it's deltoid and not the proximal biceps tendon?
It might be. It could actually be that. It's in that area, so that's why I think I'm just thinking it's my deltoid.
Right.
But I noticed that if my elbow is isolated, regardless of the range, I won't get the same shoulder pain. Right. Or if I'm on an arm wrestling table, I won't get the same shoulder pain. But 100-pound dumbbell bicep curls, that's a mega goal, Jedd. I hope you get there. Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of videos out there of bodybuilders doing hundreds, and they're not strict. But I think it's like Kevin Levrone or something like that.
Yeah.
Or a dude that looks like him that's doing them. And then there's another dude, he's only like 205 pounds, and he's like banging out 80s for like sets of 5 or something like that. And people keep linking that video on mine every time I put a curl video out because his form is like pristine.
I can't think of his name, but he's from Virginia, right? And he's an arm wrestler from Virginia.
Very possible. Very possible.
Yeah, I knew him years ago. I can't think of his name, but yeah. I know he is known for being able to do that with standing curls, and he's probably like he used to be in the 170 something weight class, and now I'd say he's somewhere around 200.
Yeah, that's about right. Well, cool. I'll just run through a few of my other goals, and then I'll pass it off to you guys. But I'd like to do obviously the clean and press, the full clean and press or overhead lift of the inch dumbbell. I'd like to at some point break the number 4 silver bullet record, and hopefully get a chance to do that in February if we can make it official. I want to do a dragon flag with 20 pounds added to my ankles. I'm at about 10 consistently now.
Cool.
Get up over 100 pounds on the blockbuster. And I want to hold the inch dumbbell in one hand and clean Blobzilla in the other hand. And then 54.
That's a lot of action going on.
It's a lot of action, but I'll tell you, dude, I was really close last year in like January, and I just never went back to it. I never went back to the feet.
You posted a video the other day with you. You were holding an inch, I think, in your left hand, and then you were doing a blob. You were trying to do a blob clean in your right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I look at some of the blobs, guys like you and Gil and Thomas Larson lift, and I'm like, it doesn't even. Like, what does that come off of? You know. So I don't remember what the blob size was, but
yeah, that was Blobzilla.
It looked like. Okay, so Blobzilla. That's like the.
That's the half.
What is that? It's like a. Okay, a half 130.
Yeah.
To me, it just.
So do you guys not have a Blobzilla?
Do we? I don't know if we have a Blobzilla. We have a half a I don't know. Bob has got something that's sitting back there that's ridiculous looking. It's a half of one of the new legacy bells that's somewhere between 120 and 135. I told Bob.
I think he's got a Blobzilla because
okay.
Mike Rinderly went to York for a bunch of us and bought them because he's only like an hour away or something, and he cut them up and sent them to everybody. And I think Bob might have been in that group when he bought them. He bought like 3 dumbbells and sent out six Blobzillas, I think.
Bob was training with it for a while, but Bob's not like a big-handed dude, so it's like, that it doesn't look like it's just weird looking. Those blobs, and maybe it's a legacy. It looks like they cut them off a dumbbell that like caught elephantitis of the nut, and then they just like removed half of the dumbbell and were like, here, try to lift this. And the black paint is all slick on them, and I mean it's just crazy. So I look at you guys lifting those things, I'm like, geez, like those things are just nuts.
Right. Well, and dude, I'll tell you, it's like if I keep doing stuff, it just gets easier. Just like but if I go away from it, it's like I go right back to square one. And like if I take too much time off, I can't lift Blobzilla. So I gotta stay on stuff. That's the main thing. And when new goals get presented or new contests get put up, I get distracted. I go away from it, and then I got to start all over. So that's the main thing for me.
Yeah. Well, Wednesday you're supposed to be getting your new goal to check tracking.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Gigantor
Blob showing up on Jedd's step.
Can't wait, Alan. I appreciate it. He's Alan has hooked the brother up with a Gigantor Blob here coming this week. So thanks a lot, Alan. I truly appreciate it. You're a good man.
No problem. Also on my prediction list.
Well, I'll tell you, man, I was putting my hand on my, I haven't cut them up, but the 145s, I don't plan on ever cutting up because I want to train with them. And I was putting my hand on those things this week, and I was like, man, that does not feel super out of reach. Like the bump from the half 130 to half 135 does not, or I'm sorry, half 130 to half 145 does not. What the hell's wrong with me? Half 140 to half 145 does not feel too big. So it's kind of promising.
Well, no, I think it's right up your alley. Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. So what else are you guys working on for grip goals, secondary, tertiary goals? What do you guys got?
Alan?
So the one other thing for me was the baby inch. I never got a chance to actually do it with my left because everything went to hell. But I plan on going for it with my right. So all my training right now, grip-wise, is literally focused around going for the baby inch and the next-gen blob right now. So I've pretty much abandoned the other things, thin pinch, anything like that, unless I think it's gonna help me out in that regard. So doing a lot of wrist work in particular right now, trying to bring that up to help with it.
Cool.
But so
great.
We'll see.
Yeah, I always find when I do what you're doing, where I just say, all right, I'm going to focus on this goal like a heat-seeking missile, I definitely tend to get there a lot quicker than if I'm scattered. So, so I'm sure you're going to get those.
Well, it'd be great. A big problem of mine is working on so many different things at once. You get focused on, like, you make plans for going to a competition or something like that. And next thing you know, you've stacked so much crap in your training, you're working with like 10 different implements, and you're not making any ground with any of them. So I'm hoping this kind of
looks like right now.
Yeah, it sucks, and it's so much periphery things that you'd never train otherwise, and it really doesn't even matter to you, and it's putting the bigger priorities on the back burner, unfortunately.
Right.
Big mistake of mine lately, but hopefully rectify it.
What about you, James? Anything else?
Yeah, I was going to try this last year, but I announced the sit-down National Arm Wrestling Championships every year, and it was the same day as Heineck Summer Strong. I want to go there, and I want to rim lift the 200-pound Zubers plate left-handed. So I've never been able to do it. I've been able to hold it with my right for about 10 seconds, but my left, I've never been able to even pop it off the ground. So I feel like I'm pretty close to doing that. I'm probably going to, I've been training it a little bit. I would like to, by then be able to do that, maybe even farmers walk them. That would be cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, I'd like to get them
cool
off
goal.
the ground first. So,
when's that slated for, James? Do you know? You got to learn about dates?
It's like it's usually mid-May or last weekend in May.
Yeah.
I know, like, it used to be like early June because it's right around Pop's birthday, but now it's I guess they're doing it in May every year. So
Gotcha.
The good thing is this year it doesn't coincide with the sit-down National Arm Wrestling Championship, so I'll be able to make that.
Nice.
That's cool.
Other goals or?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of want to try to pinch those two deep dish Weider 50s we were talking about last week, if I can be patient with them.
Right.
Because they're a pain in the ass. And I want to pinch 355-pound plates with two hands. I've had them off the ground a bunch. I still haven't locked them out. Everyone else in the yard has locked them out, including like Jason and Gary. Sean Capusta came over. He did it. Bob does it and adds weight to it, so, because that's Bob. But I'd like to get them off the ground, so that's or lock them out. So that's a goal. That's more of a shorter-term goal. I want to farmer's walk my two York plates, my 100-pound plates. I can get them off. I can lock them out both hands, but I can't pick them up suitcase style and walk with them yet. It's kind of an awkward pinch. They're really thin, so I want to do that. And then if there's an event where it's contested, I'd like to go between 110 and 120 pounds on the lever top. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So busy year.
That's in your wheelhouse, that lever top. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. As long as my shoulder holds up, I should be good.
Well, as long as you're heading out to Sorinex, James, you gotta train to lift the old blob too. Then how can you go out there and not take a stab at that?
Yeah, I don't think I've lifted that. I was there one year when Bob was lifting it, but that was way before I even had a shot at hitting a 50-pound blob. Even now I'm really kind of hit or miss with it, and mainly miss. So yeah, that would be cool. Last time I was there, we were doing a lot of hub feats because there were so many cool, like, different plates and.
That sounds fun.
There's so much to play with. You guys, I know Jedd has been to the old Sorinex when Rich had the gym in the like that plaza there.
Yeah.
The new one, the new facility, the lobby is just amazing. I mean, it's just like the whole lobby is just. It's like a history of weightlifting in that lobby. And, I mean, anything you want to do grip-wise is there. So it's pretty cool. It was kind of a bummer to miss it last year, but certainly going to make it this year. No question about it.
Great. So I have a question for you guys, and this is kind of in line with predictions, and I know we only have a few more minutes before Alan's got to skedaddle, but what's the over-under on or what? How many people do you think will close a number 4 this year? Not necessarily certified on a number 4, but just like training lifts, videos where they close one with, say, like Mash Monster set or wider.
Wow. I don't know about you, Alan, but I think those guys that managed to cert on the 3.5 last year are probably either at a point where they're closing a 4 or they're pretty darn close if they were able to credit card a 3.5. So, I mean, you got to figure there's a few other stragglers, so I'd say 5 to 10 at the most.
Yeah, I was thinking 5
think 10 would
myself.
be.
I don't necessarily have that. I don't have names or anything, but, just I don't know how many people closed it last year. And I'm not counting guys like Ches because he's already closed. I'm only thinking closers. But, and it could be, one thing, you go to a Summer Strong and you got a guy there who has only got, like, new number 4 grippers, and then you walk up there with, like, a 199, and they set it and close it, I mean, that can be a difference maker, because like the ones that come out now are generally at least 210. So you got to, that's 10, 12 pounds on a gripper. That's a big deal when you're dealing with number 4. So
you know what, Jed? I wouldn't know the number specifically, but I know Bob has got a 4 that was rated by Chris Rice years ago, and it's a single stamp, and I want to say it's 194.
Mm-hmm. I believe it. I believe something would come out, shake out at that number from right around that time period, probably like 2003, 2004, around that time period. Sure. Mm-hmm.
And I know he's closed that gripper choked.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he's kind of like you, where he hates grippers. So.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like Bob actually gets stronger when the choker puts on. I get weaker. So
he actually admits that setting is kind of his issue. He sets it too low, and in a choker he's really explosive with things. So it's like in a choker he can just kind of throw it in his hand and just speed through it. So
yeah. What do you think, Alan?
I think that's a good assessment, but I haven't really been seeing a lot of people even necessarily working with closing the 4. Lately.
No, that's true.
More silver bullet work, if anything, but a lot of that's been like the 3.5 that I've seen in like training clips.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a real good feel for it, but that sounds, there's got to be guys out there working with it. I don't know what like Morgan Choi's still doing these days as far as that stuff, but I would think like, Valeri T, I would think he'd be hitting that stuff if he's still looking to be climbing the Mash Monster ladder,
Right.
So a lot of those guys got to be doing it. Maybe Marco Bull, I don't know where he's at with those things, but, I mean, boy, it's got to be close if he hasn't shot him. I don't know where he's at, but... Yeah. I think that's a good assessment.
Monster dudes like Carl Myerscough would definitely have a good...
Yeah, he actually made my prediction.
Came to mind. Yeah, he was the first name that came to mind when we were talking about, when you said that, because I was thinking that he would probably be a pretty good candidate.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if he trains the parallel set.
See, I don't know. That's the thing. He probably doesn't even know that people do that. For all I know.
Well, I bet he doesn't, but I don't know him very well, but at all. But it would surprise me a little bit if he did, I guess. So.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you read his little, I don't know if it was the bio that Iron Mind did for him, and he was talking about how he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't train anything other than a credit card set, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he discourages other people from training anything from a credit card set. But I think what he doesn't understand is that, other people who aren't 6'11" don't have hands his size. Yeah. So, like, to some of us, a credit card set is like, it's like, for me, I don't know about you, Alan, but if I'm doing a credit card set, my hand is just about all the way open.
Yes, it's really tricky. For me, I really, I know, and, Jedd and Paul Knight have talked about this actually, setting the gripper differently when they're doing the credit card set versus like a Mash Monster set, for example. And I have to use virtually the same technique to do that. I almost start with like the Mash Monster thing and kind of let the rear handle back up a little bit is how I have to do it. And, and that's worked for me, but I've only ever done like, I've credit card set the 2. I can't do a 2.5. I can do a heavy 2 though. But yeah, no, hand size, that's weird because like my pinky, I don't get any engagement out of that until the gripper is like on its way, until I've moved it beyond what would be the credit card position. Otherwise, it's kind of like touching kind of a weird spot on it. It's not doing anything for me.
Yeah, I can relate.
Well, any other prediction things to throw in here before we wrap up, guys?
Well, I have one. I think that there's a strong woman named Annika Eilman. I don't know if you guys follow her at all, but she did a 188-kilogram Highland ring lift, 414 pounds, and I think that she's going to lift the Denny Stones this year. Without straps.
Oh, nice.
I think she's going to lift the Denny Stones, and my understanding is without straps and maybe even without hook grip, she will be trying to lift the Denny Stones this year.
Wow.
That's badass.
So I don't know if that's going to happen at the gathering of the Stones in August or when, but yeah. That's I think she's going to do it. If that's what she's dedicated to this year, she'll do it.
Well, that's incredible.
That's almost the size of the large stone right there.
Yeah. Nice.
That'll be great to see.
Yep. Well, I had a as long as with Karl Marskoff on the subject, I had him picked for King Kong winner this coming year. Yeah, my
events, and you're picking them out.
I am. Yes. Well, just because historically, you know, we've always had some variety of stick bar, and I would imagine now that I'm saying this, I'm sure it'll get changed. But if we stuck with the 2.5-inch crusher, for example, he broke the record, right? And you know, assuming similar implements, I would think he's got that potential.
Well, he definitely has potential. He definitely has the potential to win that event. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Big man.
Yeah, I can't see a guy that size reaching down to pull on the half penny or the stub, you know. Or some,
I agree. Those would throw a wrench into things. But they got so much backlash, I don't know that we'd see that. But I guess we'll have to see.
Thank God they're getting backlash. That's all I got to say. You know? Another Bobism that I love. You know, the World Weed Pulling Championships.
What was that, James? I didn't catch that. The world.
Bob, whenever it comes to, like, the stubs or the half pennies or, you know, like, the moon top type stuff, he says it's like the world weed pulling championship.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that is beautiful.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. He probably doesn't want me saying that either, but publicly. But yeah, that's a great one.
But it's so fitting. It really is so fitting, dude.
Yeah.
You know what else is tough? Have you ever tried pulling cattails out of not an actual cat's tail, but like the cattails that are on the side of a pond? You guys know what those are?
It's been over 30 years. I remember seeing them, but it's been that long since I played with something like that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm a city boy. I don't even get the reference. So.
Well, a cattail is you go fishing at a pond or something like that. A lot of times there's like this reed-like weed. It's kind of I'm going to call it an invasive species of weed. Okay, I don't know if that's the proper terminology.
Like a swamp vegetation.
Yes, yes, and they're really hard to get rid of. I've never actually tried to yank one out, but I guess they're really tough to pull out of the mud, I guess. Is that true, Alan?
You know, I don't know. I just remember looking at them when we were a kid, and we thought those were cool, just like big sunflowers, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think we probably even... Boy, now that I think of it, I think like if we wanted one as a kid, I think my dad probably pulled out a pocket knife and cut them off or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember him tearing them out.
If you get a treble hook caught in one when you're fishing, like your lure's gone. Like you're not going to pull it like through the rest of the weed. Those are it's like denim. It's like denim or burlap. That material. Those reeds.
Oh, nice.
They're really bad. So.
Yep.
But
things are really overgrown around them typically too.
Yeah. It's true, and they're hard to get to them, and then they grow in the mud, and you got to wade out in the water. It's gross. You're out there with the algae. It's just not cool. Spiders. Come on, man. Water snakes.
Yeah,
you know, for some reason, I'm picturing David Horn and like Jerome Bloom in a canoe trying to like pull these things out of the swamp to train for hub and stuff. You know?
Cross training.
Not hub, for like stub and, you know.
Yeah.
You know, fisherman hat on, you know.
Yeah, dude.
Pass the line out.
Couldn't you see Jedd snagging a lure, getting so pissed he just throws the whole rod in the pond?
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can lose a lure real easily. Lily pads too will take your lure if you're not careful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep. Good fishing around there, though. Yep.
It's true. You got to take a chance on it, man. You got to take a chance. Yep. Those largemouth like those lily pads.
Yeah, what's $5?
Yeah.
It's been such a long time since I bought a lure. I don't even know what they go for nowadays. But they weren't cheap when I was a kid.
Some of them them are $5.
Cut lawns
They're
for a
usually
week.
the ones that look like a kid painted them. The ones that actually look like decent like replica of live bait, they're a little bit more expensive. So,
yeah, I'm not surprised. Oh.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I lose first.
Yeah, for sure. I'd be interested in hearing what other people's predictions are and share your goals, in the comment section below. I always love reading that from people, and I put the same kind of thing up on Facebook. So I don't know if anybody's actually commented. We can go ahead and look at that. But what else, guys? Anything else for the good of the order before we sign off?
Becca Roberts, 2.5 credit card cert.
Yeah,
be done.
I think that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
She can do it. She can be the first. No doubt in my mind. Oh.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's well on her way.
Oh, yeah. If she isn't doing it already, I mean, it's just a formality. I think maybe getting it consistent at best, but she'll be repping that thing one day. Yeah,
that'd be great to see. I got a couple goals here listed out by John O'Connor. 410-pound axle, 240-pound rolling thunder, and number 3 for 10-plus seconds on the silver bullet. And then Circo Peterman, 400-pound axle thumbless, 200-pound horn top, 45-pound half a penny, 3-inch rolling handle hold with 122 pounds for 30 seconds and 662 pounds for 100 centimeters on the stone. I'm not sure what that is referenced. Is that a 662-pound stone he's talking about?
That's what I was trying to figure out when you said that. Yeah.
662 pounds for 100 centimeters on the stone. I'm not sure about that one.
No, that doesn't. I don't follow that.
Maybe it may be an event that he's been training that I'm not aware of.
He gets so many different things he's always working on.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
But it's almost like he excels in that environment. Like what causes distraction for you and me, Alan, seems to be something that fosters good progress for him, almost.
Yes. Yep. Prevents stagnation. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he always posts interesting stuff too. That's for sure.
Yes.
Well, good stuff, guys. I know, Alan, you got to run, so why don't you take it away, and we'll be back again soon for another show. Okay. Well, that's episode 81, everybody. Thanks for listening. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. That's been another good one. We'll see you next week with another one. Talk to you later.